A constraint can be thought of as the weakest link in a chain. In a production or process setting, a constraint can oftentimes be identified as the location with a buildup of work in progress. When it comes to services, a constrained resource can be identified by a buildup of people waiting in an actual line. Think checkout at a grocery store or waiting room in a clinic. Constraints can be a bottleneck, which means they limit the entire process. Alternatively, they can just be a constraint, or non-bottleneck, which act like bottlenecks at certain times and places when the environment gets just right. Okay, so by definition, a capacity constrained resource is actually the weakest link in a chain, or in this case, it's a particular process. There are a number of ways that this could manifest itself. It can be in your business setting, your employees, available supplies, or just your equipment capabilities. Now, to illustrate one of each of these, we're going to use a snowball example. Think of the movie Elf. We'll show you a little clip of exactly what we're meaning, and then we'll illustrate these examples for you.
We better get out of here.
You know what? We can take them. Okay, just start making as many snowballs as you can. You ready? Let's go.
Now obviously there was a huge difference in the capacity between Buddy the Elf and his stepbrother Michael, and we're just going to take this and put it into like an industrial kind of setting or something along those lines, where the purpose is to create as many snowballs as possible. What are going to be those limiting factors? We're going to talk briefly about business setting, employees, available supplies, or the equipment capabilities in these next few clips.
One sector of capacity constrained resources, or CCRs, is the available resources, or the business setting, where you're operating, what's available to you, and how can you use that in your production. So I am not in Cache Valley, I'm not in the Salt Lake area or southern Idaho, where I would assume the majority of our classmates are, at least all of my group is. I'm actually down in Dallas, Texas, and today we are on a winter weather storm advisory. So very adverse weather today here in Dallas, and as you can tell, it's not raining, it's not snowing, it's not sleeting, it's just cold. It's in the mid-20s, so it's quite a cold front. Maybe we'll get some rain later on today, but for this here to be the winter weather advisory, just goes to show you how very rarely they do get snow, or they do get any sort of freezing rain or precipitation where I could manufacture snowballs. So for us here, I would have to have that shipped in, or have it somehow have man-made snow in order for me to construct these snowballs. And so where you are plays a huge role in what's available in the type of business that you can operate. Sometimes you live in a place where you have to ship things and it becomes so expensive, so exorbitant. If you're available to supplies in your business setting, it's just as a non-starter for the type of firm you might want to run.
Another capacity constraint resource is employees and how well they know how to do the skill set that you're looking for them to make it. So in our example with the snowballs, my assistant here is going to be creating a snowball for us. Can you make us a snowball, please? Okay, there's one.
What?
Make two more. Two more snowballs.
Huh?
Two. One more. I need one more. Three. Thank you. So as you can see, the capacity constraint of your employees affects the quality of your outcome of your products.
If I were the manager of a supply chain operation making snowballs, It's important that I have the right supplies in order to be the most efficient. As someone who's lived in Cache Valley my entire life, I can tell you that the winters are unpredictable, and this might be a problem for my supply chain. We might get one storm that dumps a lot of white, fluffy, powdery snow. And if I try and take this snow and make a snowball, it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of energy for me to shape that snow and get it to stay into a snowball. It may even just fall apart in my hand. This would cause a capacity-constrained resource or a bottleneck. On the other hand, the Cache Valley winters can be pretty cold, and the snow on the ground might freeze and turn to ice. If I try and take that snow and make a snowball, it's going to take a lot of energy and a lot of time for me to break that ice apart, scoop it up, and getting it to form into a ball shape. We need to make sure that we have the right supplies, and the right supplies for our snowball making supply chain is snowball making snow, which is a blend of powder and ice. We want it to be easily scoopable and have enough ice in it that it holds its shape.
Another example of our capacity constrained resources would be our equipment capabilities. So for example, if I were to make a snowball and reach down, I could make maybe 1 or 2 of these a minute, but eventually my hands are going to get cold and it's going to limit how many of these I can do in an hour. But if I put on my gloves and I have better equipment or a snowball making contraption, I can do this all afternoon. I could probably make dozens and dozens of these in an hour. Equipment is one of the big factors in capacity constrained resources.